So let's get started with a ridiculously quick hot smoked salmon pasta. A truly luxurious dish for when time is tight. Let me show you an absolutely spectacular pasta dish, a meal for two that is so fast. For a taste sensation, get some sustainable hot smoked salmon, fresh asparagus, an unwaxed lemon, dried tagliarini pasta, and gorgeous creme fraiche. It's so good, you're gonna love it, and it's such a big, flavorful dish for such a quick thing to do. So, pan of boiling water on. Let's start off with the primary ingredient, the hot smoked salmon. You can get it in all the supermarkets. Gorgeous skin, flesh, and that wonderful colour. There's such a lot of flavour for one ingredient right here. So this goes in a pan, dry pan, skin side down, and we're on a medium heat here. What I want to achieve is crispy skin. It's going to be really, really good. Hot smoked salmon is a total time saver because it's already cooked. So just heat it through and get the skin gorgeously golden. Now, asparagus. I'm going to use a little gadget, which is a speed peeler, and we're going to just take this peeler from the base to the tip. And what's beautiful is the elegance, you know, the precision. Love that. As soon as it gets tricky, which is about now, that we'll put to the side. So what I'm trying to achieve here, guys, is texture, visual appeal, and of course, the way you cut vegetables and ingredients changes the way it tastes. Put the ribbons to the side for later. Then chop up the leftover asparagus, removing any woody ends. Make it quite fine, okay? Because your tagliolini is delicate and you want this to stick around that beautiful pasta. So, salmon's been in there for like a minute. I'm going to turn the salmon and its skin should just peel off effortlessly. And then, a little bit like pork scratchings, I want to get this crispy. So put the skin the other side down, just a little oil, and we're going to go in with the chopped asparagus. And then if you look, you can see it rendering, getting super crispy. As we're doing that, we can use our lovely unwaxed lemon. Just a few strokes. Just the lemon zest gives such flavour. Don't waste it. So look, let's have a little look here. Look at that. You can see how delicate that is. Lovely colour. Beautiful. Big bits, small bits. And of course the asparagus is now sucking up all of that lovely flavour. Look at that. Skin's getting crispier. This is going to be great. Right, this pasta cooks in like 3-4 minutes. I've got boiling water here. Season it. Always important. So you want about 150 grams of dried pasta there. This tagliolini, it has egg in it, so it's a gentle, silky kind of pasta. So just break the pasta up and then let it boil. When that salmon skin is really nice and crisp, look at that. Oh, it's popping and spitting. Take this out, and I'll just put that like that. And then I can introduce lemon juice to this very lovely pan of wonderful flavour. Or literally just move the salmon and asparagus around, and when it's kind of cooked away, I'm just going to grab this pasta and throw it in. You can drain it in the colander if you want, but if you've got tongs, you can do this. Once you've done that, then the last ingredient is wonderful creme fraiche. About a tablespoon goes in, a little bit of relief from the smokiness. And I want to contrast that with the heat from pepper. A generous dusting. And then we can jiggle the pan around. I'm going to add a little bit of cooking water. And this will kind of almost relax the creme fraiche and mix with the beautiful smoked salmon fat. And I'm going to turn the heat off now and just move the pasta around like that. The smell is phenomenal. Look at that. Oh, this is going to be good, guys. It's going to be so good. Just before serving up, throw the asparagus ribbons into the pan to give them a quick blast of heat. Look at the colour. Really, really nice. Beautiful. All I do now is go back to my crispy bit of salmon. And you've got every last bit of flavour from that salmon. And if you want to drizzle it with a little oil. Oh, and the important thing about pasta is not to talk, eat. And I love the way when you kind of twinkle your fork around, you get the beautiful asparagus as well. And those little chunks of cooked asparagus with the smoked salmon, crispy bits. Mmm. Big flavour. Big flavour. It's a combo that wants to work. Those 5 things have got to be best mates. Do you know what I mean? You haven't got time for ice breaking. Just got to be best mates. Real food, real cooking, fun to make, and not just quick. Blooming delicious. What are you waiting for? You shouldn't even be watching anymore. My effortless hot smoked salmon pasta. The perfect combo of truly classy flavours. Now, buckle up for a very special pasta dish with surprising flavours that your taste buds will thank you for. This is something a bit different and I think you're going to love it. Get yourself some Gorgonzola cheese, super ripe pears, radicchio, dried farfalle pasta, and a handful of walnuts. A really classy, delicious pasta dish. So the pasta of choice is farfalle, which translates as butterflies. And we love them. My girls absolutely love these. So we're going to put a couple of handfuls in for 2 people. It's going to be great. These take about 12 minutes to cook. Season with salt, and in the time it takes for this pasta to cook, we will have the rest of the dish ready. So let's get that lid on. In actual fact, let's swap that lid, take that, for a little bowl, or a big bowl, okay? And what I want to do here is use it as a lid, but also the subtle heat of this is the perfect thing to melt this Gorgonzola. So I'm just going to cut about half of this. Look at that. This is Italy's version of a Stilton. It's gorgeous. You can get it in the supermarkets now. You've got gooey bits, flaky, crumbly bits, light bits of blue. So you've got creaminess and funk and a whole load of texture going on. So just break that cheese up in the bottom of the bowl and that will gently ooze and melt. So that's why this bowl is so brilliant, because it's a gentle heat. So it'll be almost like a kind of fondue. And the only bit I won't use is the little bit of skin at the side. So, pasta on, cheese melting, it's looking good. This dish is all about big, contrasting flavours. So bring on Italy's version of red chicory, the mighty radicchio. This is a very, very famous salad leaf, famous for being bitter. And if you look at the cross-section here, it's absolutely beautiful. But if you have bitter food in conjunction with sweet food, and the sweet food in this story will be these beautiful pears, now you're talking, right? So sweet with bitter, with the creaminess of this beautiful cheese, is going to be amazing. And your tongue is going to be like, woohoo! And that's what we want. Get a pan on a high heat, then core and finely slice 2 juicy pears. Now, if they're one of those pears that has a kind of khaki, sandpapery sort of outside, peel them, right? You can see these ones have got silky soft outsides, and that's lovely, so just leave those. Get them a bit finer. I'm going dry into the pan. Come back here. We've got a bit of an ooze going on there, so you can see how it's just melting. Molten, funky cheese. I'm going to have a little chef's honour. This is my bit of pear, and this is a bit of oozy cheese, right? You shouldn't do this, but... Oh, creamy, funky, delicious, seasoned, depth of flavour, and then juicy, sweet. Yes, but it's only going to get better. Clank up half the radicchio into 1 centimetre slices and add to the pears. So sweet and bitter come together in a pan of love. We're just going to wilt that down for 3 or 4 minutes until that pasta's cooked. You can see it shrinking and softening. It smells incredible. The pasta's going to be done now. Look at that oozy cheese. You know that makes sense. Yes. Love that. So I'm just going to take that off. Drain your pasta, keeping some of that precious starchy water. And grab a handful of walnuts. And just crush them in my hands. Beautiful. So this is where things get quite cool. Then I'm going to go in with the pasta. Let's get that wonderful melty cheese. You know it makes sense. Oh, yes. And then a little bit of that starchy cooking water. Pinch of black pepper. Wow. And then start the magic. It's the most beautiful, incredible pink. So good. And then a few bits of nuts. Crush them up as fine as you can in your hands and just sprinkle it on top. My friends, that is a classic. Come on, let's get in there. Most of this is super silky, but with the odd hit of the walnuts. The bitterness is very subtle now, but the pear is beyond sweet and it's just working. And the cheese is not strong. It's very milky and fresh with a nice little twang. What a combination. 5 ingredients, just firing all of your taste buds. That's a great pasta right there. What an utterly effortless grown-up pasta dish, bursting with exciting, bold flavours. Don't just watch it, try it. Time for my Sicilian tuna pasta. A simple way to ramp up a midweek family favourite. We're going to do a beautiful 5-ingredient pasta, celebrating a part of Italy that I just love so much, Sicily. For fantastic flavour, get some sustainable tuna. Dried pasta shells, baby capers, dried oregano, and gorgeous ripe cherry tomatoes. This, my friends, is a winner of a dish. And literally, in the time it takes to cook the pasta, it's all done and you're ready to rock and roll. So first up, beautiful pasta into some salted boiling water. I'm using pasta shells here. Of course, you can use any pasta you love. 300 grams of pasta goes in. Make sure you season the water. Lid back on, and I just put the spoon slightly ajar so it doesn't boil over. Now, I want 4 big teaspoons of these capers. Let's have a little look at these. In Sicily, they absolutely treasure capers. They use them in so many ways. They make sauces, salsas, stuffings, pastas, they flavour oils, and they're so perfumed, and they come from a beautiful little plant that has amazing flowers. You use them right, they're extraordinary. Right, I'll grab a pan, and I'm going to do something different with this recipe to really get it going. The pan's heating up, medium-high heat. And here we have the tuna. Now, you can get tuna in tins, nothing wrong with it, but the stuff in jars is normally a bit better, and you normally have a better quality fish, and the oil is decent in here as well. So for a quick flavour hit, pour a tablespoon of the oil from the tuna into the pan. Then I'm going to go in with these capers, right? And they're going to crispen up and kind of open out like that. So we're creating texture, but also these capers are going to flavour the oil. Delicious. So we'll let these just fry. Have a little look in there. They're just going beautifully crisp, and they've sort of popped. Gorgeous. And while that's happening, we can then prep our tomatoes. Now look at these, right? You can use any tomatoes you like, but by getting them on the vine, they will taste better, for sure. You can also get them ripe, so they're really juicy and delicious. Once the tomatoes are off the vine, you can cut them in halves or quarters. And to be honest, if you're feeling like in a rush or lazy, just scrunch them with your bare hands and go completely old school. When the capers are nice and crispy, scoop most of them out and put aside for later. Look at that, amazing. And what that's done is taken something soft and made it crispy, and it's perfumed the oil that we're going to fry our tomatoes in. Then throw a handful of tomatoes into the pan, and it's time for a bit of Sicilian seasoning. In this lovely oil here, just scrunch the oregano, and it will literally just rain that herb into there. Flowering oregano will take this dish to another level. But if you can't find it, the regular dried stuff will do the job too. Oh, the smell, and as soon as it hits the heat, it's like a completely different ball game. So we want to just very lightly cook these tomatoes. Give it a nice little toss. Look at the colours, look at that. Really, really nice. So we can now go in with the tuna, make sure it's MSC approved. And look, you can see the kind of nicer tuna is more of a kind of beautiful chunk that we can then flake. And you can break it up small or big, there's no right or wrong. All I would do now is just nick a bit of that starchy water, and that will blend with the fat from the tuna and just pull a bit more flavour out of that tuna as well. Once the pasta's done, drain and add to the sauce in the pan. And of course, being seashell shape, what's fantastic about it is it's got that little cup that will trap the cherry vine tomatoes, the sauce. What you want to do is just give it a good old toss. You can use spoons if you want. It just dresses that pasta in the most beautiful way. But have a taste. Does it need salt and pepper? Does it need a little tweak? And look at that. What a dinner. So quick, so easy, so full of life. Look at the juices. And they're filling up all those lovely little shells. And then get those beautiful capers and just sprinkle them. And a little shaky. Get everyone around the table, get them there with the forks in hand. A beautiful, humble, gorgeous pasta. Very fast and full of colour. Look at that. Let's get in there. That beautiful little mouthful, a little shell, full of tomato, full of capers, all the juices. Right, enough talking, in the gob. Big flavour. Big, juicy flavour. Keeping it short, sweet and to the point, and focusing on those little points, like crispening up the capers, the quick cook on the tomatoes so you're not making it frumpy, but kind of full of life. Really, really nice. Boy, that's good. My pimped up Sicilian tuna pasta. A super simple way to turn a regular dish into an elegant family feast. This rosé pesto prawn pasta is a simple showstopper. Perfect for when you want to impress someone special in a flash. It's an absolute stunner of a dish. I know you're going to love it. The flavours of this dish come from sustainable king prawns, fresh garlic, red pesto, rosé wine, and dried tagliarini pasta. We're going to make a really delicious pasta. This is going to be cool, guys. And it's quick. If I'm hungry, I can rattle this out in like 10 minutes, okay? And you can too. So, I've got lovely tagliarini. You can use spaghetti, whatever makes you happy, but these elegant, delicate noodles are really, really nice. Get your pan on, salted boiling water there, and then we're going to use prawns. Beautiful, MSC approved, shell-on prawns, and I'm going to show you fast track to maximum flavour. We're not mucking about. You're going to love it. The next ingredient that's going to bring this little party together is pesto. This red one has got pecorino, parmesan, nuts, olive oil. It's got sun-dried tomatoes. There's a lot of flavours in there. Oh, my Lord. With garlic, it's looking good, right? Finally, I want a cheeky bottle of chilled light rosé wine. And a frozen glass, right? Because it makes me feel like I'm on holiday. OK, so first, a little drink for the cook. Delicious. It feels like summertime, and I want that in this dish. Peel and slice 4 cloves of garlic, and we're all set. You are going to feel the love. Get yourself a nice big pan, high heat, put that on. Get 300 grams of prawns out, and I'm going to show you a little trick. I want 4 prawns where I'm going to leave the heads and tails on, but I want to remove the central part of the shell. Keep the head on, keep the tail on, and the middle, just pinch it off. Just like that. Now, simply slice down the back and remove the vein. This technique is called butterflying, and it will speed up the cooking, grab hold of that delicious sauce, and make it look superb. So look, you've prepped these 4, and here, for the other prawns, is the next little trick. Because the most valuable part of this dish is the prawn heads. Yeah, you heard it, prawn heads. It's where the flavour is. So saving the bodies for later, remove the heads from the rest of your prawns. In there is deep, incredible flavour. It's sweet, it's delicious, and it tastes of the sea. So look, there's the heads. We're going to treasure those. They go into our pan with our 4 prepped butterflied prawns, right? Some olive oil, and it'll start to fry. You'll see that blue raw prawn go pink. It's like magic, it's incredible. Peel the shells off the remaining prawns and simply chop them up. What we want is little bits of this prawn to stick to the pasta. So run your knife through it, and then we're going to go in with our prawns and the garlic. And garlic and prawns don't need any time to cook. It's so fast. At this point in the game, we're nearly there. Like, literally, we're nearly there. Let's have a little wash up. So we're going to get our pasta. 150 grams of pasta. This takes 4 minutes. In it goes. The smell now is amazing. And look at the head here. Squash it. That is gold dust. Look, gold dust. Now, we're going to go in with 2 heaped teaspoons of the pesto. And you can hear that. It's hot, it's colourful, it's getting complex. There's a lot of deep flavour here. Then we go in with about half a glass of wine. Let the rosé bubble and reduce for 1 minute. Just give it a little toss. We're kind of ready and raring to go. Use tongs and just drag our pasta in. We're done, guys, we're done. So beautiful. It smells amazing. Off the heat, taste it. I'm going to hit it with a little black pepper, just for a little kick. And that, my friends, is a beautiful, beautiful pasta. It's elegant. One final little flourish of extra virgin olive oil and a dusting of that black pepper. That is a fast and furious, fun dish with deep flavour. Enough talking, let's eat it. You've got the garlic, you've got the pesto, beautiful wine. You know, when you kind of get your fork in there, you get little bits of prawn trapped in the pasta. Really, really nice tip to sort of chop those prawns up. But of course, then you get the big old chunk as well that you can attack with your fingers. Once you've had a go, you'll be hooked. 5 ingredients, working really, really hard. Sexy prawn pasta for 2. Super quick to make and guaranteed to earn big brownie points. Now for my fast and fiery aubergine penne arrabbiata. A quick veggie pasta, the perfect grub for the end of a busy day. In this recipe, I'm going to extract the very best of chili flavour. And it's not just heat, there's fruit and there's kind of warmth that it can give you, and it makes you feel really cosy. I want that in this dish. Using fresh chilies, large firm aubergines, garlic, tinned plum tomatoes, and dried whole wheat pasta. I love clever ways of using chili in a dish, and this dish is centred around chili. The beginning of this recipe actually starts with making yourself a condiment that will sit in your fridge. I'm going to put, a nice amount of olive oil into a jar. This is the jar I'm going to store it in, but I'm going to put all this oil in the pan, so that's heating up. I'm going to go to my chilies. I'm going to take the little tops off, like that. And then most of the heat is kept inside the chili. So scrape the membrane and the little seeds here, leaving you with the actual fruit. I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it into this oil. And what that's going to do is cook the chili, make it tender, but it's going to bring out much warmer, gentler notes. You want to make it an inclusive dish. You don't want to do it so hot that everyone's like going nuts, right? So now these chilies are looking quite good. Add them to a little jam jar, like this. Delicious. You can use it in soups, in stews, and risottos. And I'll pour the oil in there as well. Make sure the jar's a heat-proof jar. I'll leave about 3 or 4, and then we're good Now, aubergine. I want to make it soft and silky and golden and meaty and delicious. First off, half them and get them into boiling water. Season with salt, and we're just going to give it 5 minutes. What you'll end up with is lovely, creamy internal flesh, and that skin that's currently not edible will become edible. We're going to take the aubergines out. With this, you've got nice soft flesh, and I'm literally just going to hack them up into sort of inch chunks. We'll turn the heat up now to medium, medium-high. Beautiful. Toss it in that beautiful, warm, gorgeous chili oil. Always shake it flat because we want to get colour on that skin and the inside of the aubergines. Season with salt and a little pepper. Let's get in with the pasta. 300 grams of your whole wheat pasta goes in. This takes about 9 minutes to cook. Then, for a lovely robust flavour, simply slice up 4 garlic cloves. Nice and fine. I'll add that to the pan because it's doing quite nicely now. So the last piece of the story is the tomatoes. By trading up to the plum tomatoes, you'll always get an A-grade tomato. What I like to do then is just crush it in my hand, but I don't want to wear it, so I am standing at a distance. Get a nice little pulp, and it smells incredible. As soon as that garlic's taken on a little bit of colour, go in with the tomatoes. Steal a bit of the cooking water to clean out the tin, and then use that to clean out our little bowl here. And it just helps you achieve that consistency that you want. Half a tin of pasta water will do the trick. The sauce is pretty much done now. We'll bring that to the boil. We'll season it up. Pasta's ready. And then into the sauce it goes, and then a nice little toss-up. Hot and steamy in temperature and flavour. Right, let's plate up. Really nice. Pimp this up a little bit. You can just take a little bit of this, slice it up. It's so soft and tender. Lay it over a little chili oil. And that, my friends, is a beautiful thing. The aubergines are really good. It's just that wonderful balance between sort of the sweetness of tomato and heat that's so good. And it just makes you feel good. It gets your endorphins going. It actually gets you sort of picked up. A spicy little veggie pasta for days when you can't be doing with complicated cooking.